Hi, it's Marco from Moose Marketing PR, the editor of Punchline magazine. Welcome to Punchline Talks. Today I've got Richard Graham, MP for Gloucester, on the streets of London, I think. Richard, great to see you. Great to talk to you. I want to talk about GL1 and the Aspire debacle.
Great, thanks, Mark. Yeah, no, I'm on the streets of Manchester before going back to London. So, obviously this has been another major sort of party conference, but my key aim during this whole conference has been really to try and see how we can resolve the problems at our two leisure sites, Oxstalls and GL1 in Gloucester. So I've had good meetings with ministers from the Department of Culture, Media, Sport, Sports Minister in particular, and their special advisors to look at what government can do to help us. And meanwhile, the council has been looking at ways of reactivating, if you like, reopening both those centres, working closely with other partners like the University of Gloucestershire. And I think that sometime tomorrow, the council will probably be able to put out a statement which will confirm that the work that they and I have been doing on trying to make sure we can get these sites reopened as quickly as possible and re-engage with staff, that there will be some progress to be updated tomorrow. I think the council is going to see group leaders of different parties in the city council today. And then after that, I would expect a statement to be given. So good progress has been made. Through Punchline, I'd love to be able to just thank those schools and other clubs with hockey, football, swimming facilities who've been able to help in the few days since this broke at the end of last week, since they closed on Friday. And that temporary help may be useful longer term for some of the organisations. But obviously, the major aim is to get both these leisure sites open as soon as possible. And I think we're making really good progress towards that.
And one of the things that struck me, Richard, is why the City Council was caught, so surprised by this. Looking at the financial accounts finishing 2022, they were already £450,000 in the red. They had a liability of £10 million with pension funds. It wasn't looking good, and 150 staff with nearly £1 million of salaries going out every year.
Sure. So look, I think these are all issues that will be looked at fairly soon. Councillors will want a proper debate on this. I think some interesting facts will come out of this. People will want to look at what senior managers were perhaps rewarding themselves with. They'll want to understand why Aspire decided to take themselves into liquidation at such haste. All of those things will be looked at. But the key thing, the major focus for me and the council, is getting those facilities reopened as soon as possible.
That's really good news, Richard, because obviously it's always the poorest in our society that need these facilities the most, isn't it?
Sure. Well, people with disabilities, people of all ages, lots of children, a hell of a lot of people are affected. So that's why this drive over the last few days and throughout last weekend has been so important.
Well, thanks ever so much for that. I've got to ask you about HS2. I know it doesn't affect us here, I believe Rishi's decision to cancel it. What's your view on it, please?
Yeah, look, I mean, personally, I think that saving 36 billion quid on HS2 from Birmingham to Manchester, which wouldn't be finished for another probably couple of decades, and would enable people to travel to London 20 minutes quicker or something. I don't personally think that the average person is going to be that bothered about it. What they were bothered about, and what I hope that they will be really pleased about, was the feeling that this was a commitment by people in Westminster to their infrastructure in the north. And what Rishi has effectively announced is that 36 billion is going to be used for all sorts of other infrastructure projects, local trains, local roads, local bus services, and that will be fully reinvested around the country, but a good chunk of it in the north of England, which of course is where he's an MP as well. So I suspect the reactions to this, once people understand what he's proposing, will be a lot more positive than we've heard from a sort of semi-leak so far.
Okay, Richard, thanks ever so much for joining us today from the streets of Manchester. Afterwards, always great to catch up with you. Hopefully,
thanks, Mark.
Soon.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye.